hello there, humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, and whoever you are lucky enough to be doing it too. I am Bushka on Blitz, and I'm exceptionally happy to be with you here today in the flesh, talking about the little things in life. Now, this is a patron-sponsored post. Patrons are the salt of the earth. There's lots and lots of stuff. If you become a sponsor of the channel, there's private videos, training rooms, boot camps. We're doing a tournament, voice channels, chat channels. It's all happening. But this is more about the little things, and this is what I'm talking about. I'm in a Leopard 1. I've decided to go to the right and drag the rest of the team with me, and I'm driving along that dune line there to have a look and get some spots and still have cover. However, when I see nothing, I drive all the way to the far corner, and this is called something along the lines of the Thieves Highway. You can see how I'm going from bush to bush using the view range on the Leo and the speed, and I'm hugging the edges of the map. Now, that might seem like pretty standard kind of fare, but for those of you who are wondering why I'm doing this, and it's something that I see heaps of people doing correctly, like T54 just cut across the middle of the map. If anyone was going to get spotted, it was him. I drove from bush to bush, so it was very, very unlikely. And when I've run out of bushes, I've driven straight to the only hard cover I can find that's still got a good, solid sniping position, and that's this rock here. And there are lots of pathways like this around the map. The guys who make the maps don't do this by accident. They try to balance the maps out so that if you're clever enough to use concealment and camouflage, you can get away with an awful lot. And you can see here, I've moved all the way around here. Now, obviously, there was no one to spot me, but I'll show you another one that I use all the time, especially when you have 2 or 3 mediums on desert sands on one side and only one medium on the other. And you know they're more than likely going to run back into the spawn, into the heavy side of the map. There also will be guys who will snipe from the railway tracks at either end. So you can see me moving along here, and what I'll do is I'll move from bush to bush, and when I don't see anything coming up on the map, I'll move to the next area of camouflage, and the next, and the next, and you end up about 170 meters out from the railway tracks without actually being seen. Even if they've got binoculars or anything along those lines, as long as you don't do what I do here, which is pretty silly, which is knock over a palm tree, you should be fairly solid in getting up here and getting here without being seen. And these are the little things that you need to be doing all the time. It's standard medium tactics. If you've been driving for a long time, you use concealment more than anything else. And it's especially important for tanks like the STA-1, which I'm driving here, which have absolutely nothing in terms of concealment. And you're going to see here, I'm on the brand new version of Fails Creek, and I'm moving away from that IS-7. I'm moving to another strong hull down position over here, and then I'm going to miss my shots, which is all well and good. But I'm not spotted. That's the important thing that I'm talking about. And I want to push up on that IS-7, and I want to get shots into the guys, if you can see on the mini-map, who are probably loitering around underneath the cap circle towards the respawn area. And I'm always using the rangefinder on this as well. And this is really important stuff, because this is how you save hit points. When I move to my next position, I don't just drive straight there. I drove laterally across all the way to the red zone line, which is meaning I'm as far away as possible from any tank that could see me, whether I can see them or not. And then I'm going straight to cover, and I'm thinking I might get a shot across there. And if that's the case, I don't want to do it without the ability to pull back really quickly. And it also gives me the soft cover here. When I move up again, I'm moving up on the IS-7, and I'm going to move up on the far side of them, always moving up on the far side into the tree line. And I can see we're all pushing now, so that's irrelevant. There's an E75 up there, so rather than stop directly here with the IS-7, I'm going to go all the way across and put a rock between me and the E75. This is not fast twitch muscle fiber or anything like that. This is the kind of thing that gets you through the game with more hit points than you did when you just used to roll out and go straight line, straight line, straight line from target to target. And it's really, really important that you start utilizing these things and putting them in your game plan. You're going to see when I push up across here, I'm going to get a shot into the E75, and I don't move up straight away because I'm not sure if his gun's going to come around to me, but then obviously I think it's Snake Eyes, smacks him, and we move onwards and upwards. There's going to be an Obj140 pop in the right-hand side while I'm on target on a T54. I'm watching the mini-map. I see a new target pop. I hear it. You'll see it in a second. And I immediately adjust my position to be clear from that 704. I see he's behind a hill, so I'm not that fussed. But then I move up again, and I've got a shot in that STB1. I'm still worried about that 704, so I'm keeping buildings between me and him, regardless, because you just can't be certain. And then they're on the 704, so I know I'm free and clear to move forward. This is how you actually improve your win rate, survive for longer, and conversely, survival isn't any great. Like, it's no good if you're not doing anything. Like, sitting at the back isn't what it's all about. But actually minimizing the risk as you're going forward is where you're at. And I'm going to show you one more game. This is all really simple stuff. If you're driving a medium and you're a 60% plus player, and that's all good, and you've probably done all these kind of things before, but a lot of people don't do the little things like this. I always, if I'm on vineyards, for instance, and the map starts and I'm on the spawn with the bridges, sorry, I'm not sure if it's the north or the south offhand, where the town is on your right, the ruins are on your right, I will go hard on the zone line because the distance, the view range from the spotting area in the middle where the bushes are to the right at the back is like 280, 290, and it's unlikely they're going to get there, get binoculars set, and move in time to actually stop me from getting across that little part of the map. Likewise, you're going to see here, I'm going to really take my time with this map. I'm with, I think it's Swiss Cheesel. We are in a 62A E50M plat, and I'm going to roll down here and just smack that 140, get one into him, and then Swiss is going to ammo rack him, which is responsible for a very big cheer in the Bushka household. And then I'm moving forward again, and I'm just taking shots at the top hatch of this 140. I miss it, but I'm not going to put myself in a bad position. Look at the angle of my tank. The E50M has a really strong upper glacis, and it's got 250mm of flat armor on the front. And I'm moving up here. I'm still behind cover. Still in a really strong spot. That 140 is in a bad spot. Just gets my track. I'm just going to let that repair. I'm not going to waste a kit on it. Now, one of the big issues with this map is if you have strong mediums on the flanks, you quite often have people who won't move across, or do move across rather, when they're massively outnumbered. You can see we've got Swiss's move right across there, and it's a really aggressive move, and I'm just going to try and move up to support him. I'm just going to stop that E100 at the back. And we're getting free shots here. We're using mostly APCR because the gun's got great pen and it's incredibly accurate. We've got to use heat to go through the cheeks of that E100. And you see he rushes his shot. He's got terrible gun handling, and the result is a heat shell that just goes smacking into the dirt. I'm still looking for shots in the E100, but he's dropped. It's 4 on 5, so we're a tank down, and we have a tank that is deep undercover on the other side. It's all been a bit of a waste over there, really. We didn't cap C. We didn't keep C from being capped. This is a very lucky Obj140. Gets rolled to 1 hit point, and my shot, I thought I actually rolled him to 1 hit point, but I missed him altogether. And we're now down to a very close 5 on 4, but a lot of low hit point tanks, which is not fantastic. And we're just looking for shots here on that E100, hoping to get one through the drive wheel. Get a bounce in that really thick upper glacis. Now there's another E100 hiding over here on the left that I haven't been keeping track of. I'm a little worried about him, so I'm resetting camo straight away. I want to get across to the other side of this section here. I'm resetting the camo just in case. Can't see any targets, and I'm going to push across. I know the E100 just killed the 140. He's popped there. He's probably not looking at me, and I really want to be on the other end of the map. I don't want to be isolated over here on my own. So I get all the way across here, and then I want to repeat the dose. Basically exactly what I was doing before to the other E100, angling the upper glacis very thickly. He gets one in. It was about time. I was due for a hit. We drop the adrenaline because the IS-8 is coming down the bottom, and again, we're just angling, backing up. He's underneath me. Now, if you've driven a Russian heavy, and you'd know that it's all about angles, it's not about thickness of armor. On this line anyway, the IS-8 line. And he is below me, which flattens out his armor profile, which means basically he's going to get flogged if he doesn't really pay attention and get out of there. And he's done that far too slowly. Now, I want to chance my hand to get this IS-8 kill. He's backed right up. He's panicked and all kinds of trouble there. But it's 2 on 4 now. It was 2 on 5, but that ISA took the gun out of the game. There's a lot of low hit point tanks though, and we've been moving pretty solidly all over this side of the map. If you go out here and you've got a medium advantage and you win the map and you push in, you're pushing in versus generally an entire red team, and it's a really, really bad idea. I don't have the gun depression to really take advantage here, so I'm going to try and fire across the side of the tank where my better gun depression numbers are. And you can see I've got shots on the back of that E100 right there. All well and good. There's an Obj140 hanging around here on 1 hit point. Another E100 going for Swiss. Swiss is on 83 hit points. I'm desperately hoping that Adrenaline hits in time. Get one into him. Just get the kill. Our second kill. So Swiss has got 2. I got 2. There's our brothers in arms. Happy days. And we brought it down to 2 on 3. And I've got plenty of hit points left. This is what I'm talking about, guys. When it comes to medium play, you can't really win the game in the first 30 seconds very often at all. It is possible if you have a huge advantage and they play really badly. But for the most part, you build a score. I mean, I've said this before, but Michael Jordan used to score 32 points a game in the NBA. And they talk about how do you score 32 points a game in the NBA. It's such a huge number. And he'd go, well, I score 8 points in the first, 8 in the second, 8 in the third, and 8 in the fourth. And that's how I get my 32. You don't score them all at once. And just like damage, you don't do it all at once. If you can do 1,000 damage a minute for 7 minutes, that's 7K. And you're not likely to do that. But if you can do 300 or 400 a minute for 7 minutes, then you're looking at, between 2,000 and 3,000 damage. And that's a lot of damage to average in a tank. And you're building a score. And Swiss has moved across the other side because I've got these guys spotted up. They're both tunneling me. That IS-7 exceptionally low on hit points. And the E100's big as a house. He's going to have to move around. But they're actually ahead by 50 points on the clock. And we've only got a minute left. We need Swiss to take out the E100, and I'll take out the Obj140. And that switches it round completely. And we're now 100 up. Swiss hasn't noticed this, however, because the only way we can lose this is if we die. Right now, we've got to win in about 10 seconds, and Swiss is still under the misapprehension that we're about to lose. So he pushes on the IS-7. And if the IS-7 kills Swiss, we're going to drop down to 940. And they're going to pick it back up. But luckily, he misses. Just enough time for me to get there and do the business. Very, very close game. And after 800 games on my normal account and a couple of hundred E50M games in the contributor account, I finally got the gold M. I can't believe it. This is the one tank that has absolutely eluded me. It's taken forever. I mean, E50M was one of the first Tier X's I ever owned. And I've had massive games in it and never got the mastery for whatever reason. 1632 XP will get it done though. Really great game from Swiss Cheezel there as well. He played that to perfection, and the way we moved to either end of the railway lines towards the end and got the 4 red guys in a horrible crossfire was pretty much the reason we pulled that one out of the bag. So there you go. There's nothing worse in this world than dying first, and if you actually play with as much minimal risk as possible, you'll do a lot better than you would minimal risk. Well, if you play with as minimal an amount of risk as possible, you'll do a lot better than you would just YOLOing along. And, I mean, let's all be honest about this at the present. If you've been playing Tier 7, you'd know that there is a plague of Tourette's-ridden Draculas who cannot keep their fingers off the accelerator and are basically just giving their hit points away ASAP every game. It is bloody hilarious, in fact. I've had games with Pimp, Snake Eyes, Ouija, Swiss, Sham, all of late, and everyone just laughs their ass off as the game starts and one of the 3 Draculas on our team basically YOLOs straight into the red spawn and eats the dirt. As always, if you'd like to sponsor the channel, click here on the link and you'll be part of a merry band of humans. There is a really big tournament coming up. We're doing the tournament, the Patreon games. If you can hear all that banging in the background, the guys next door are demolishing their house. So over the next wee while, we'll have to put up with a little bit of atmospheric background smashing. I'll try and minimize the actual smashing to videos. I'll keep an eye out and see when they're using the jackhammers and the sledges, and we'll get it done. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching. You make the world go round. Tickety boom, and stay safe on the